Well, joining in studio now is Dr. Bertrand Da Silva. He's, of course, with the Orange County Medical Association. He's also a diplomat at the American Boards of Pulmonary Disease and Critical Care and Sleep Medicine, which is why you're here, Dr. Da Silva. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Now, of course, we just saw this piece from the Journal of American Medical Association, and I think a lot of people, especially here in the 21st century, find themselves dealing with sleep deprivation. They can't go to sleep. They can't stay asleep. I'm definitely one of these people. And we often find it to be very annoying, but it can actually lead to some serious health problems, can it?
Long term, yes, it can.
Now, in long term, can you elaborate on that? What do you mean by that?
If you have sleep deprivation long term, it results in significant issues regarding your heart, your lungs, neurological issues, cognitive issues, problems with perhaps memory. Staying asleep is often inhibited by insomnia. Okay. And in this particular article that was that you're referencing, they've evaluated to see whether there was a significant improvement treating patients either with medication or what they call cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy is a methodology where they will look at patients in terms of whether they can teach them how to overcome their problems with sleep disorders, with behavioral modifications, perhaps improvements in sleep hygiene, and also biofeedback and relaxation therapy, perhaps yoga, meditation, etc.
You know, and I've often found personally that if I wake up in the middle of the night, it always seems to be about 2 a.m. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm awake. And you want to try to go immediately back to sleep. And I have found personally that just trying to engage in some deep breathing many times will work. You're talking about those kinds of relaxation techniques, aren't you?
Yes, very much so. Deep breathing, really putting aside events of the day. What we find is that patients that suffer from insomnia have very poor sleep hygiene. They perhaps look at the clock repetitively. The clock should be put away or turned away, and the digital clock is something that causes people to become perhaps more and more frustrated in their inability to get back to sleep. Perhaps it's noise that awoke you, so white noise, temperature being inadequate, or perhaps too cold or too hot, light coming into the room because of perhaps very bad drapes. What you do is you black out the room, you turn the clock away, you make sure that the temperature of the room is correct and that there's no extraneous noise coming in. The other factor is really to think about a situation where you're perhaps thinking about the events of the day, and as soon as you wake up, your mind kicks into gear, you think about problems, etc. And what we find is setting aside a problem time, a problem period during the day where you think about it. And in fact, the computer is great because what you want to do is to remove that information from your mind and perhaps store it in a USB card.
Interesting. And
you take it out of your mind. You may perhaps have a pad next to your bed where you write down the events that you thought about and perhaps issues, but you try and address that during the day rather than at that time at night when you're supposed to be sleeping.
Now, very quickly, we're almost out of time, but how about things that we can do during the day or things that we should not be doing during the day in the early evening or something that would help us get to sleep and stay asleep?
Well, obviously, use of stimulants and certain drugs as well will cause sleep deprivation. For example, caffeine does cause significant issues in terms of actually initiating sleep. Alcohol may help you actually fall asleep, but will then wake you up at around 2 a.m. when it's converted to a stimulant medication. And so avoidance of those two things will help a great deal. Also, exercising late in the evening prior to actually initiating sleep is difficult. So exercise taken in the morning is much better rather than at night. And then avoidance of perhaps certain types of prescribed medications, for example, diuretics, that will disturb your sleep and actually make you want to go to the restroom in the middle of the night. Okay. Timing of medications is important as well.
Well, don't you feel more relaxed already? Again, Dr. Bertrand Da Silva. Of course, he is a member of the Orange County Medical Association. For more information about them, visit their website at ocma.org. Dr. Da Silva, appreciate your input.
Thank you very much.